Hold on, we got my checkbook.
That's not that bad.
So you may, when you die, you know, they give a donation to the town.
Right.
Well, and I'll show you there's some funding sources here. Let me zip on ahead so I can show you all some
You even
funding
name it
sources
after
we put out here.
you, even name it after you.
Oh, and first I wanted to mention there are a few additional priorities, and I don't know if this is USD, but it's faded out here. But the additional priorities that we discussed are additional programming, Parks and Recreation Director, additional trails and greenways, which would be the greenway that goes down we suggested, and then as you develop your programming, we would also suggest an online registration system so you can track participation and things like that. So how do we get there? Funding for Parks and Recreation really falls into two buckets. Pay as you go, which includes grants, it includes fees, it includes paying from the general fund, and then borrow. You take on low interest loans. Oftentimes USDA rural development loans can be a percentage point below the prevailing interest rate. It can even include grants.
Yeah, that would.
So we wanted to understand the support for Parks and Recreation funding. What was the support for increasing the funding for Parks and Recreation? You can see here there's pretty broad support. About 75% either agree or strongly agree that there should be support for increased Parks and Recreation spending. About 16% were undecided, and about 10% either disagreed or strongly disagreed. So you can see that there is while some people may be vocal one way or another, the numbers sort of tell the story. And then sources of funding. We wanted to know amongst the sources of funding what people thought should be used for Parks and Recreation. Everyone loves grant money. 84% said that grant money should be utilized. But as we know here, grants are not free. It takes staff, it takes time, it takes resources. There's a match oftentimes. With some of the major sources for Parks and Recreation in the state of Tennessee, it's up to a 50% match. So you're really not getting free money. You're getting 50 cents on the dollar is what you're getting. So you always have to spend money there. So what else should be spent? Your bond issue, so that'd be long-term loans, fees of various sorts. About 12% increase supported increased property taxes. We don't suggest that, but it's just to get a sense of how that weighs out against everything else. Okay, now this is the fun part. Looking at what are the funding sources that are out there, what are the grant sources that are out there. And I will make all of this available to you so you can share it with anyone here. But I have provided a table here with the funding sources that I'm aware of, common funding sources that can be applied for Parks and Recreation improvements. I have the opportunity, the eligible projects, the funding limit, the match percentage, and the typical deadline for those funding sources. So you have several sources through the Department of Environment and Conservation, a couple through the Department of Transportation, a couple through the Department of Health. I especially want to mention the Project Diabetes grants. Those are up to $450,000 over 3 years, and it's a very, very welcome match of 0%. So that's always a popular one. Blue Cross Blue Shield Healthy Place grants, Department of Tourism grants. This is the one that I mentioned about if you want to hire or develop a program for recreation and hire a director, there's the Tennessee Recreation Initiative Program, or TRIP, that provides a grant to fund just that. A couple that I want to mention here that are not normally used for Parks and Recreation. They're normally used for sewer and water. But because of all of the ARPA funding, because of all the money that's coming through the bipartisan infrastructure bill, two funding sources that can now be used for certain types of recreation development, park development, are the Community Development Block Grants, the Community Livability Grants that are usually available in February, and the Appalachian Regional Commission Grants, which usually have a deadline that starts around December. So those are two. Those are pretty big sources. So we recommend considering those are federal grants. So. And just some other sources that I want to mention again: the Tennessee Recreation Initiative Program, USD RD loans. There's a crowdfunding toolkit by the National Recreation and Parks Association, which is really helpful for providing resources on how to generate funding locally. Of course, ARPA funding if you haven't spent it all already, and then just general fund allocations. And that's about it.
Goodness question.
Does anybody have any thoughts about anything that I've
showing that, it's a lot of information.
It is a lot of information, and I kind of gave it to you rapid fire. I apologize again for all the, I have never had technical difficulties like we had tonight.
Can we get a copy, like a binder of this, so we can look at?
I mean, I don't know
I
about,
can put one together.
okay, I can get you all,
Okay.
I can get it to you in digital form, and you
Yeah.
can put it in whatever format you want for that. Let me just go down here. Oh, don't know what I did there.
Go to hit the internet thing. On the FU, like if you scroll down on the, to the, right there.
See, I'm not sure how to get to that previous slide now. Yep. So does anybody have any other thoughts about what I shared with you all tonight? Thoughts about the survey, thoughts about the park, thoughts about what we're talking about on Main Street or the trail? This is a lot to spit out at you,
Yeah.
and I want you all to take the time to digest it.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
have time.
With the binder, we can go back and we can look at it and check it out, read
You
it.
have time, and I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your critiques of whatever it is that we put together here, because this is really the first draft. I mean, we put this kind of together on the fly. We were really trying to get you all planned in a reasonable time frame, so we wanted to move quickly on this. So that's really, and we wanted to be comprehensive too. We wanted to show everything that you could want to do at the park, and so we included a lot there. And really, if you were to do everything that's in that plan, you're going to have a really amazing amenity here. See if I can get back.
Let me ask you a question. From all the parks that you've seen around, what do you think would be good up here, will work good up here?
Honestly, I just think you need to highlight that location as much as you can. Highlight what it is as much as you can with natural elements. That's why I put in a pollinator garden. That's why we have the disc golf course, improvements to the trails. Provide a space that highlights those views, that highlights that open sky. I love that site. When I first went out there, I was so impressed, and I couldn't wait to sit down with paper and do some design work, because it is really impressive.
I hate to interrupt you, but we're over time.
Overtime?
I'm sorry.
All right. Well, I appreciate you all.
Every problem I know is now.
What do you think about a senior citizen garden up there? Have an area for senior citizens to grow stuff? And maybe during the summer, get with the kids.
Not to mention how much we heard, but this chair goes right there.
We'll just put it over here.
I'm not calling you a senior, though.
Yeah, no,
You go.
but I am, but,
You're the young one.
yeah.
What is a senior? To be a senior, how old is it?
I think it's 55 now.
3 more years. It don't take long to get up there, does it?
It doesn't.
Sure. No, I can. That's honestly what my company does. Community development. We've done it for the last 30 years of development. So we know grants.
Sammy, he'll go all day with
We have brought $600 million, over $600 million of projects.
Okay. All right. Take your place, mister.
Yeah. Give me a call.
Yeah.
The chair back, please.
I don't want to cut these ladies. They ruined this.
Thank you for your patience.
Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate you. I'll wait till Teresa gets back. She can take a little break back there.
You're not going much her to get your attire and whatnot here.
Yeah.
Station. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, sir. Is this okay, ma'am, sir?
That's the
I
power
don't
meeting
wanna
there.
be crowding you.
It's fine, yeah.
Inlet. What did he decide to put it at?
Oh, it's not on here yet. We'll have to,
I know she said you pointed out in this spot.
just, we call it up there.
Since everybody gets their seat,
As long as,
I'll forget.
get out here quick. Y'all can have your regular. Emily,
Okay.
you miss me, don't you? You miss me, don't you? Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
Sorry, I'm back.
I could use a few full squirrels on.
Oh, yes, he's gonna be nice. He's gonna sure he's going to be nice next to us.
we got one too.
Yeah.
And I think it's well received.
You think it's-
Okay, sounds good.
Yes. Yep, I saw it.
Still allow you, come on.
We're gonna try to.
And everybody else.
The meeting starts.
You don't know what the time is.
Sorry.
We'll talk soon.
Yeah.
Give me a phone.
Okay.
So you just
Didn't see you.
Probably, I got it.
I didn't know it was on that, well, okay. I put it close to it.
Okay.
So this is my mother, Mom. This is Sue. She's over the senior center.
I won't go in and get you.
Hey, everybody's good on board.
Yeah, most days. I told him he cleaned up pretty good.
I'll bring this meeting to order. I'll rise, please. Ms. Teresa is going to give her invitation.
You bow your heads. We thank you, God, for your love and your mercy. And we pray, Lord, that you'll help us have common sense and a vision for our town to help us to do the best that we can with our limited funds. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
And Mindy will lead the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Mindy Forshaw?
Yes.
Alderman John Gibson? Here. Alderman Jim Gillum? Here. Alderman Steve McLean? Alderman Darby Patrick?
Here.
Vice Mayor Teresa Moore? Here. Mayor Pat Stillwell?
Here. Our employee of the month is Kevin Lawson. Here we go, Kevin. Kevin, tell them what your nice job is.
I'm the plant operator, I'm the supervisor at the wastewater treatment plant in my county.
And he's doing a fine job, is what I've been told by some of his workers up there. And he's the one that's got the dirty work around here in the sewer plant. So Kevin, this is your Employee of the Month appreciation, and we sure do appreciate you and keep doing. He is the supervisor up there too. And we appreciate you all and what all you do. Thank you. Okay, I want to welcome everyone here tonight, and At the end, you will have your visitors' comments. They've moved it to the end now. And I want to welcome everybody here, and you've got, in a little bit, you can talk about what you want to bring up. We'll go on to the next one, is approval and correction of the minutes of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, meeting date October the 20th, 2022, and the committee and department reports and monthly financial reports. Any questions?
I make a motion to accept.
Also. Okay. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, we have any old business? None. So we'll go on down to the new business. The first one is that we have to discuss and consideration of the appointments of, and reappointments of the aldermen. So if Alan would help me. Not you.
No, ma'am, I just courtesy,
Oh, okay, all right. I thought she was getting up here.
that the mover.
Okay. Who's going to start?
Mr. Bear?
Yeah, Mr. Bear, you come up here.
Repeat after me.
Wait a minute. Okay, go ahead.
I, say your full name,
I, Jim Bear,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do swear or affirm
that as a member of the town of Board of Mayor and Aldermen, that as a member of the town of Mount Carmel, Mayor and Aldermen,
that a member of the Mount Carmel Board of Mayor and Aldermen,
I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States,
I will defend and support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution and statutes of the state of Tennessee, Constitution of the state of Tennessee,
the Constitution of the State of Tennessee,
and the charter and ordinances of the town of Mount Carmel.
and the charter and ordinances of the town of Mount Carmel,
And I will, in all business before the Board of Mayor and Aldermen,
and all the business in front of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen,
vote without favor,
vote without favor,
affection, partiality, or prejudice,
affection, and partiality,
and that I will not promote or assent to any ordinance
promote or assent to any ordinance,
or take part in or consent to any act,
to consent or take part
in any act that appears to me
in any act that appears to me
will abridge the privileges of the citizens of the town of Mount Carmel,
that will bridge
the rights and privileges
the rights and privileges of the citizens of Mount Carmel,
of the Constitution of the United States and Tennessee.
on the Constitution of the State of Tennessee.
Congratulations.
Jim Gillum would come up.
I can't repeat that.
You have to.
If I can do it, Jim, you can do it.
I've already done it when I was in the military, it stays with me.
Come on. You're holding up time, Jim, come on.
That's all right, Robbie, you're gonna be doing it too.
No, you got your spectacles on.
Oh, you don't have hearing aid, do
No, I don't have my hearing aids on, don't have them in.
Pat, you do sign language works.
Stand back, please. Okay, raise your
I,
I,
full name,
James L. Gillum,
do swear or affirm,
do swear or affirm,
as a member of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen,
as a board member of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen,
I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States,
I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution and statutes of the state of Tennessee,
the Constitution and statutes of the Board of Tennessee,
and the charter and ordinances of Mount Carmel,
and the charter and ordinances of Mount Carmel.
that I will in all things before the board,
I didn't hear.
that I will before all business before the board,
I will, before all business of the board,
will act and vote without any favor, partiality, or prejudice.
will act and vote, no favor, partiality,
Prejudice.
or prejudice.
Or take part in or consent to any act, or take part
Or
in,
take part,
this is the part you like now, you're gonna like this one, this is, any act that appears to me
any act appears to me,
that will abridge the rights and privileges of the citizens of Mount Carmel,
that will abridge the rights and citizens of Mount Carmel,
under the Constitution of the United States and the state of Tennessee.
and the Constitution of the United States, Tennessee.
Congratulations.
Good job.
I didn't say squeeze it. Okay, John Gibson.
If you do, you get ditched that. If you don't, you get ditched that.
Told you, watch your mouth today.
Good job, Pops. I'm gonna start having you Pops now.
I'll be over in the morning.
Do solemnly swear or affirm
Do solemnly swear or affirm
that as a member of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen of Mount Carmel,
As a member of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen of Mount Carmel,
I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States,
I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution and statutes of the State of Tennessee,
the Constitution and the statutes of the State of Tennessee,
and the Charter and ordinances of the Town of Mount Carmel.
and the Charter and the ordinances of the Town of Mount Carmel.
I will in all business before the Board of Mayor and Aldermen
I will in all business before the Board of Mayor and Aldermen
vote without favor, affection, partiality, or prejudice.
vote without favor,
Affection,
partiality, or prejudice.
and that I will not promote or assent to any ordinance
That I will not promote or assent to any ordinance
or take part in or consent to any act
or take part in or consent to any act
that appears to me that will abridge the rights
that appears to me will abridge the rights
and privileges of the citizens of the Town of Mount Carmel
and the privileges of the citizens of the Town of Mount Carmel
under the Constitution of the United States and the State of Tennessee.
under the Constitution of the United States and the State of Tennessee.
Congratulations, sir.
Okay, got that one. The next one is discussion and consideration of changing date of the December BMA meeting to December the 15th, 2022.
Make a motion to accept.
And I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we'll move on down. Discussion and consideration. To 22-5-15 ordinance establishing an updated occupational safety and hazard health program plan.
I'll make that motion to establish.
And I'll second the motion.
Okay, all in favor?
That's roll
Any
call.
opposed?
That's roll call.
Roll call, okay.
Alderman Mindy Fleischhauer,
Yes.
Alderman John Gibson.
Yes.
Alderman Jim Gillen.
Yes.
Alderman Jim Bayer.
Yes.
Alderman Darby Patrick.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Teresa Moore.
Yes.
Mayor Pat Stillwell.
Yes.
So before we move on to item D, just since this is dealing with the fire department, I did just, as you can see, there's a couple of our fire department guys here with us tonight. In the report this month, there are just a couple of things that I want to call out, because there's some work these guys are doing in our fire department that I just think really needs to, we need to, for one, show them some thanks, but also acknowledge and appreciate. In the report, it's showing that the daytime shift guys had an average on being on scene on priority 1 medical calls in 4 minutes. That's from the time you call 911 to the time that you're seeing a Mount Carmel fire department truck in your driveway. The volunteers are nothing short of outstanding, and their response time on calls is less than 8 minutes from the time, and the national average is greater than 10 minutes. And also in that report, the tools that we purchased back, I believe, with the baby doe funds, somebody correct me? In that wreck that happened that took out the post on Main Street, post in the fence, from the time that there was the phone call, from the time that they transferred care to EMS was 7 minutes. And the old equipment that we had, and Chief Mike can speak to that a little better, you'd struggle to get that set up in 7 minutes?
Struggling to set up 15 minutes.
So I mean, that's something that, while there's a lot of stuff that, we can go back and forth on, these guys are doing work that's really saving people's lives, and I just want to acknowledge and thank them for that.
Come in, stand up, you all. Come in here, Mr. Darby's son.
Go ahead, Carl.
We do, all of you all come up here in the front. Come on, Chief, get up here with me.
They do the work, I just do the talking.
You are part of the march.
I do the talking.
Well, we appreciate all four of you, and you're drawing attention to yourself. So, if you'd have been up here, you wouldn't have. So anyway, we do appreciate you all and what you do, and the classes that you take, and the constant drilling, and all that you still keep in charge with. Thank you.
Thank you.
Discussion, and we'll go on. I guess we need to go to the ordinance now. Discussion and consideration of the 22-516 ordinance adopting by references to state traffic offenses and rules of the road.
Make a motion to accept. Or not.
Adopt. And I second it.
What kind of ordinance is it?
It's what we discussed at the last meeting. Oh, you wasn't here. Maybe
So when
you
they take
can
$5
tell him
onto the ticket.
Oh, okay.
to
The
tell
state
him.
of Tennessee has adopted several new laws such as hands-free devices, things like that. So we're just updating our codes to reflect that as well.
He informed me about that.
Okay. We'll move on. Discussion and consideration. Oh,
Motion.
okay. Roll call.
Motion, is there a second?
Yes.
Okay.
Roll call.
Alderman Mindy Fleischauer,
Yes.
Alderman John Gibson,
Yes.
Alderman Jim Gillum,
Yep.
Alderman Jim Bader,
Yes.
Alderman Darby Patrick.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Teresa Moult,
Yes.
Mayor Pat Stillwell.
Yes. The next one is discussion and consideration of resolution 22-618, the surplus of police lighting. Any questions on this?
Make a motion to
No,
accept.
I'll make a motion. Did you make a motion?
Go.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and sell it.
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
All in favor?
All in favor, okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we'll move right on then. Okay, discussion and consideration, resolution 22-619, the electronic traffic citation fee. Any discussion?
Yeah, I got some on that.
Okay.
I told you wrong on that just a minute ago, that's what I was looking at. Where's this money? Once it's paid over there, I know you've got $1 going into clerk court. And you've got $4, where's that going?
They're going into a special revenue account.
Should it go back to the general fund?
No. They can only be used for the purchasing or support of electronic things. Can't build playground equipment, you can't do anything unless it supports by law electronic citations.
What can we use that money for?
Printers, computers, scanners, paper for the printers, anything that supports it, software. And it's only good for 5 years.
So you ain't gonna be asking the town for money for that?
That's what that's supposed to provide.
I'll make a motion, Bill.
I'll probably still ask you for it.
I'll second.
Roll call.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Okay. I didn't say no, but there's none. Okay. Okay. Now, the discussion on consideration, solicit the public participation and interest of serving on the town committees. Any discussion?
This was just something that I brought up in the workshop, that any committees that we have any openings on, that Emily get them posted on the city website in case anybody from the community wanted to come down and put their name in the hat for a committee to be put on.
And she can send that to me then. Okay, but we've got to fill some places tonight. We have Parks and Recreation. We have, we're short 2, so Stephen McLean and Teresa here. would like, told me they'd like to be on that. So, do I,
Who else on there anyway, because the list that we have is wrong.
Alan Boyd.
Because it has me on there, but I'm not on there.
No, you're
So-
not on there.
Okay.
You've been off a long time, and it's just, you
Well, I never even put myself on there, because we had to meet.
That's
all of
right,
them.
exactly.
So
I
what
don't
are
know
you
how,
looking
I don't
for?
know how that got on there, too.
So what do you need on a promotion to put them on the board?
Yes.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, anybody have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor, do we have to? We do it all, just in all in favor, right? All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, say no.
No.
The planning commission, we have Donnie Sexton, and myself, of course, I was on the other one too, and Chris Sexton, Garrett White, Don Carter, and we need two more, which Jim Gillum said he would like to have one. Oh, and we have Gary Eads, which he's the chairman and has been for a while. And so we're going to put Jim Gillum and
Wait a
Teresa
minute,
Moe.
where we at?
We're in the planning commission.
Well, how many elected
That you
officials
asked
are you
for.
allowed to have on there?
Well, I
No.
don't mind.
No, how many elected officials are you allowed to have?
Well, we just have to have, we can have two. I mean, two aldermen and the mayor.
If Jim likes to do the parks, I wouldn't mind doing a planning committee. I've been on parks for 7 years.
In the section below it, it tells you how many members and what the members are composed of. It seems very small, but it says one of the members shall be the mayor of the municipality. One member of the members shall be the remaining of the board of members of mayor and aldermen selected by the board of mayor and aldermen. The other 7 members will be appointed by the mayor. If making such appointments, the mayor shall ensure the racial composition of the planning commission is at least reflective in the municipality's racial minority population. Members of the planning commission, basically this goes on to say that for the BMA term, the board member term is only for 8 months. Because it should be an 8-month rotation so that each individual in their 4-year term is on the planning commission. So there's more requirements of that one.
Okay.
Let me make a clarification. I said I would go on if somebody was coming off. I'm not gonna go on there and have a pitfall for somebody getting mad at me because
We don't got anybody that's coming off because Ed Montgomery,
No, I
dropped
have,
off.
so you're only filling one elected official seat.
well, if you look at that, in the
Stephen's going
planning
off, there'll be
commission,
another
Oh, no, I was on the
people on
planning
there.
commission.
Not really, because some of, you
That's what I
got
figured.
Donnie, you got me, you got Chris Sexton, Garrett, Don Carter is all we've got on there right now, and Gary Eads.
And if you put me on there, then I'm
You
not
be going
gonna
on
say,
as an
I'm
alternate.
thinking about them, that's gonna be 10 people.
No, you're
No, it's
taking-
not. Donnie 1,
You're an
me
alternate.
2, 3, 4, 5, and Jim 6, Teresa 7,
You
and
can only have one alderman. So one alderman. So you
Oh, one
got
alderman.
Jim and Teresa is 2 aldermen.
8, 9.
okay.
Am I lying or can I count?
Well,
Well, I feel like we should
Okay,
table
Jim.
these and talk about them at the workshop.
Jim, but they need it now because we had a discussion on this and they wanted it brought up here.
Well, it's
So,
not on the agenda.
well, it is right there because that's where she told me to put it there.
No, that's soliciting the participation. There's nothing in here on voting on committees.
Well,
Let's table that for the next meeting.
okay.
Workshop.
Because we
All
haven't
these you
tabled it.
mean?
Workshop. No, just.
Just that one, table this one.
So that's which one are you
Maybe
taking?
one I would
We're
give them all.
tabling the planning commission.
I'll table them all. I'll make a motion to table all of them. I'll make a motion to table them all.
I haven't said that.
I'll second that. That way we get organized.
Well, I've got them right here.
Okay, well, I mean, we can do it, get it over with.
We have a motion on the
What do you
second.
wanna do at the workshop?
Yes.
Well, we can decide at
You
that
can't
point.
vote at the right workshop.
We can discuss it,
Who
put it
said
on the
yes?
December.
You can't vote at the
Well, we
workshop.
can at least.
We can discuss it at the workshop and then vote on it in the December meeting. That way, everybody can sit down and talk about what committees they want to sit on, like elected
Yeah.
officials.
I think that's a good idea.
And give people that wants to be on the committee a chance to put in their names and be considered for the committees. And not just who the mayor wants to pick.
But, well, I have had people to come to me and tell me they want to be on this committee.
And there's other
Teresa
people that like to be on the
said she
committee.
wanted to be on it.
I
I
think,
talked to John, he said he would. and Stephen said he would stay on the committee, so it's not that I'm just picking certain people.
There's other people that has asked to be on committees that you're not considering.
Who's asked to be on the planning and the parks that I just went over?
I didn't say the parks and planning. I said there's people that has asked to be on a committee that you're not considering.
I've not got to anywhere else there. I've considered every one of these. It's my right. I am the mayor, and it is my right to do this.
You have a first and a second. We need to take a roll call. Please.
We don't need to take a roll call.
I'd like to
Because
take a roll call.
I am the mayor, and that is written that the mayor appoints these positions.
I think what you're saying is there's a motion on the floor for the adjournment of this, tabling it until you have a chance to talk to the workshop.
Okay.
That motion should probably be voted on before you go further down the road.
I made the motion to table it.
Okay?
You made the
Anybody
motion to
second it?
table one thing that was interpreted, but
Well,
never any second.
We
that
can
I heard
go,
of.
we can go full amount, it don't matter, I'll change it.
Mr. Bear made a motion to table them all,
And I'll
I believe
second it.
Mr. Patrick seconded that, so I think that's where we
We
stand.
need a vote then.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you want to do a roll call?
I'll roll call it.
All right. Alderman Mindy Fleischauer,
Yes.
Alderman John Gibson.
No,
Wait, this is to table it, right?
this is table. This is the table?
Yes, this is.
No.
Okay. Sorry, Alderman Jim Gillum.
Yeah.
Alderman Jim Baird,
Yes.
Alderman Darby Patrick.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Teresa Mock,
Yes.
Mayor Pat Stillwell.
No. But we're going to table it, we will talk about it at the next meeting. Okay, that'd be fine. Okay, then the next one is discussion and consideration to approve the 2023 date of public outreach committee events.
Make the motion to approve.
I'll second that.
You want to first?
Yeah,
go
so
over,
just-
would you please just
Discussion
read
on
it?
that.
Yeah.
So on that, on the second page of that, we've got the events that are basically being put on by the outreach, as well as the events from that the city normally puts on annually each year. So starting Saturday, April 8th, 2023, have the Easter egg hunt scheduled at the city park. Saturday, June the 3rd, 2023, the Nerf event at the city park. Tuesday, July 4th, 2023, fireworks and bands on Main Street for the 4th of July. Saturday, July 29th, a water event at City Park, kind of water / back to school, since that'll be a week before school starts. Saturday, October 7th, 2023, Fall Festival. December, and we don't have dates set for these yet, but just kind of placeholders, December 23. Just kind of pencil in the tree lighting on Main Street, if that's successful this year. 2023 parade, and then the Santa Run, since those are kind of staples every year. But this would give us the ability to get that to TML, to get our website updated, ability to try to get it on the Vacation Tennessee website, try to advertise with the chamber, and it really tries to solicit more participation from the community with those. I feel like getting these approved now, before we even in 2023.
Make a motion to accept or to approve.
And I'll second that.
John?
I thought we
Second
had the
Saturday.
tree lighting for
Second
the
Saturday.
21st of December.
That's the,
This is next
This
year.
is 2023.
yeah, these, we're just going ahead and
This is
set.
2023. So we already know it's gonna be the second Saturday, December.
Yeah, Churchill always does theirs the first, we come in the second.
So we'll pencil those dates in the second Saturday, and then I guess the third Saturday we'll do the Santa Run.
Absolutely.
That's it. All right, that's the way I wanna make that, or you made the motion, right?
Yeah,
Okay, is that how you made that?
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. All right, the next one is, discussion, consideration, approval, well, we did that just now. Discussion and consideration, approval of the update of the police department general orders. Could you, any discussion on that? Would, Chief, would you please come in and talk about this?
General orders that we currently have from 2005 or 6, I believe, so we're just catching up to that, just doing some housekeeping. bring them
Just
up to speed.
general orders.
So it's just an update.
Correct. Update to include new laws, new procedures.
I'll make a motion, I'll go ahead and go with it.
I'll second. Okay. Discussion, okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, discussion and consideration of employees' Christmas bonuses.
So I'll make a motion to open the floor for discussion for that.
Okay,
I'll second that motion.
all in favor? Okay.
And so I did apologize for the late addition of the agenda, but this was something after City Churchill have their BMA meeting, it kind of got me thinking about, would be a nice opportunity for us to do a little something for our employees for Christmas. They just would let me know that it is something that was budgeted already. And so what I'm making a motion that we would like to see us do is to do a $250 bonus for a full-time employee with us paying the taxes, and a $100 bonus for an employee, for a part-time employee, and that would be paid on the paycheck 2 weeks prior to Christmas. I think it would be a nice.
You mean a check by itself, in other words?
Not-
Or in their
What would
payroll?
be easier for payroll, anyway?
We don't do checks anymore, so it'd just be a
Direct
direct
deposit.
deposit.
So I mean, just, would it need to be a standalone, like a separate $250 for everybody, or easier to add on payroll?
We'll just add it on payroll.
So,
Well, we'll do it as a separate payroll, but yeah.
okay.
it'd be
But you
that
still
way.
have to pay taxes.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
So
you
we've
see,
done
so it's not really, it's like a 250 realized bonus, it'd be like a little closer to 3, but we're paying the tax part of it, so they actually see an extra $250.
Is that legal?
How many employees do we have now?
Yeah, Basically, when you say taxes, you're simply paying in your other 6.2% Social Security, 1.45% Medicare, I assume.
Yes.
That's the only taxes involved, you're not paying any income taxes.
Right.
But normally the employee pays that amount and the employer does. And what they're saying is they will double up that.
So somewhere along the line, they're still gonna pay tax on it.
No, the city will
Yes.
tax it.
It's still income tax, it's the actual, like, when you would, instead of seeing the amount of $250 minus your payroll taxes, which would then deduct that to or probably 180 roughly, ballpark around somewhere, they would actually see 250. So they're really getting a bonus of a little over 3, but that's taxes getting 8 out of it. So they're only getting an actual realized 250.
What did we do last year?
What we budgeted was, for this year, was the same as last year, and it was 200 for full-time, 100 for part-time.
$50 more than it was last year. Plus tax,
Mhm.
insurance.
I just assume you give them 4 hours off and get off the money deal.
And a lot of these employees could use that money for our families' Christmas.
Yes, they
You know, a
do.
lot of, you know, if their Christmas a gift to somebody.
Some of them don't make the $10 and $12 an hour. either.
We can't take up.
Well, I make a motion to accept it.
I second that. They still get off for half a day, right? Y'all still get off for half a day, that last day before Christmas Eve?
We are scheduled to be off on the Friday and the Monday around that weekend.
Mhm.
That's the holidays that the town observes. Our offices will be closed.
That's fine. So
Is
still
all
get-
in favor for?
Yes. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Visitors' comments? Do we have any visitors' comments?
You know we do.
Okay.
Up there, boy.
Mr. Beaver?
Yeah. Mayor, you told me you didn't have nothing to do with money, that the city manager has everything to do with it, you have no say-so. I don't need that money for you today. Miss Emily, I'm just wondering, at the end of the year, if we have a surplus of cash and not deficit, and if we do, what is the town of Mount Carmel, you are going to do with it? Since the mayor and aldermen have no say-so, like I said, so it's all up to you, they said. As I reckon, with my 2 college degrees, I got that done. But I just like to know what you're going to do with that. It's been like, it's all on you. I think you should give it to Miss Sue and the senior citizen, they do a good job, that's just fine, but it's all up to you. I just wonder, do we have a surplus this year? Thank you. Thank you all.
Anybody else have anything to say?
I just have quickly.
Okay.
The Santa run, that's at 8 o'clock in the morning. Can we not make that like a little bit later in the morning?
No, because they gotta get through the whole town.
Is that 8:30? Is that 8:30 or 8 that you're all pull out?
We pull out at 8. We usually get to our first houses by 8:30. The reason we start so early is because it runs so far into the day. We'll be out on the Santa run probably until about 5:30 that evening.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, see,
It's a long.
another thing is, Mount, people don't
right
know, but Mount Carmel is the same size of Pigeon Forge. But see, the only thing is, we don't have the concrete and all that stuff. And, we have mowing and all that stuff and pushing the snow off and all that stuff, so. But, we are the same size of them and we only have very few workers.
Right. Okay, that's fine. Do we know where, do they have the same trail every year that they go by, or do they switch it out?
No.
Where do you
it's
normally
the same.
start?
We normally start up here, Kaywood. Yeah,
On Kaywood and come down to Montgomery?
yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna work on trying to get something more live up there.
Yeah, we are. And John and I are working something where you can follow on the Facebook.
What's more up to date, where you get like more real time to see where they're at.
Okay,
We'll work
that's
on
good.
that.
That's good. All right, thank you.
Well, I got a question, one more question for him. Are y'all,
Hey, Jason,
Jason,
we ain't done with you yet.
I have a question.
will you all, be putting that in one of those little snack bags to throw out?
No.
Okay. Will you do that, when Santa's on the, fire truck coming down Main Street so the kids will not
We
run
haven't.
out?
We haven't done that since I've been here.
We did
Well,
it
we did
a
it.
couple of years ago.
I think y'all got
That's
confused.
on Main Street. That was on
We did when Simpson was the chief.
Yeah, that was many years ago. That was before.
No, it wasn't. What are you trying to tell me?
I've been here for a while.
You think I'm old, I can't remember?
Oh, no, you can remember.
Okay, let's move on. Anybody else have any comments?
Just get out my, one of those Victor Circle.
Thank you.
I'd like to see the visitors' comments put back where they used to be, just before the old business. A previous mayor tried this same thing, it wasn't very successful then, and I don't think it's very successful now. Thank you.
You're welcome. You want us to put that in form of a motion?
I don't care how you do it, I mean, that's just that's my opinion on it. I'm not telling you to do it,
Yeah,
I'm
we'll
telling
have
you
to
that's
wait
my
until the
opinion.
next meeting in order to vote on it. But we had to vote on the other one. So.
Can I ask one question?
That's up to you, Mayor.
City manager, does the order of the meeting, is that something that has to be on a resolution or an ordinance format, or could that be a resolution?
It's been passed by ordinance. Does it have to be done by ordinance or resolution? And we passed it by ordinance. We possibly took it.
Can you repeal and
Undid it
replace
and
that
then
by
pass it.
repeal the ordinance and replace it with a resolution?
I don't think so. We have to use another ordinance.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. All that's taken care of. Anybody else have anything to say tonight?
I do. I don't know,
Okay.
I don't know if anybody is like me or not, young at heart. We could dress up and I think it'd be cute for the children, on the, float, if we have a float.
The Aldermen, right?
Yeah, the
We-
Mayor and
Aldermen,
Aldermen.
yeah.
We have your
We've got all kinds of little outfits. I think he's really nice. There is one snowman who has a yellow bottom. You all can figure that one out.
Oh, the
He's
green.
got a little dog walking beside us. I'll let him know, whoever does it, yeah, my little dog.
Let the chief of police.
Are they a green or a
Yeah, I'm sure there is. Now, his outfit wouldn't be cheap. These are cheap. These come from Oriental.
Oh, you got that gingerbread man.
Which one?
The gingerbread.
You don't have to worry about that.
little gingerbread man?
This is the, now this one's expensive. One thing about, yeah, that one is expensive, but one thing about it, if it's cool, we'll at least have some extra clothing on to keep us warm. I don't know.
That's so funny. I love it.
I think she wants this one.
I do, I would be the gingerbread.
Okay,
You know, from Puss in Boots.
all right, come here.
But there's a cheap one.
$64.97.
But there's a cheaper one.
I'll give you a cheaper
It's not that good though.
I know, he's cheap.
But this one's like
cheesy.
$17.98.
All right, let's move on, let's move on.
But pants gonna be one thing.
She could be the Christmas tree.
Okay, we'll, consider that, here you go. Okay, again, I wanna thank all of you all, thank Emily for the time she puts in when you bring things in and she has to look up things and all that to be on this.
One other issue that we might want to address is, I believe it's been historically the first board meeting when the new members are sworn in, that there's an appointment of a vice mayor.
Okay. Well, I make the appointment for the vice mayor to stay still, Teresa Mott.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Or no, they have to, I guess, okay, roll call.
Don't you have to take nominations?
Yeah, you got any more
Yeah,
nominations?
nominate Mindy.
Have any second?
We know we got 2 years to go. Would it be simpler just to leave it the way it is?
Mhm.
It's a vote. Take a vote and see.
All right, take a vote and see, to leave Teresa there.
I'll second John's motion to put Mindy.
So is it, are we taking a vote on
So-
Teresa or Mindy? Or
We're taking a vote on Teresa first.
Teresa first, okay.
And if you're done with nominations. okay,
Motion
you
to
don't-
cease nominations.
Okay. All right, we're gonna vote Teresa as vice mayor, Alderman Mindy Fleischauer,
Can pass.
Alderman John Gibson,
Same.
Alderman Jim Gillum,
I'll go for it.
Alderman Jim Baird,
I'll pass.
Alderman Darby Patrick,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Teresa Mott,
Yes.
Mayor Pat Stillwell.
Yes,
4. Do we need to?
No, that's it.
Consensus, okay. So Vice Mayor Teresa remains.
okay, thank you for bringing that up. I didn't know anything that had to be done each time. So, okay, our comments, again, thank you all, thank you for serving, thank you for the patience that you have to serve. And that's all I have to say. Vice Mayor, you have anything to say?
Order your out, yes.
Sure she does, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Darby,
No, just everybody have a nice holiday, Thanksgiving.
that's a good one. John,
Yeah, I appreciate everybody coming out to vote this past election, appreciate your support. One other thing that I just want to touch on, just to make sure we have the hard dates set for people, because we won't be meeting, we might be meeting again before the Santa Run, but we'll have 2 events going on this month. One, on December 1st from 6 to 7 will be the tree lighting, which I believe Ms. Wood sent that email out. Have the tree lighting on Main Street, then the parade on the 10th at 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock. And then on the 17th, of course, Santa Run starting at 8 a.m. I just want to really encourage participation from the board, encourage people from the town to participate. The more engagements we get with this type of stuff, the better we can do them next year. And I appreciate it.
Jim,
Nope.
Teresa? No. Mindy?
Congratulations to Jim, John, and Jess. And happy holidays.
Yours coming too.
Alderman Jim? You know me, call it Jim.
We got a lot of Jims.
I appreciate
Yeah, I know.
I appreciate everybody coming out and voting, and I'm looking forward to serving on this as a mayor and alderman for the next few years.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Emily?
Just happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Now, Mr. Coop.
Coop.
Enjoy the holidays.
Thank you all for coming.
Make a motion to
Yes.
adjourn.
Second.